Relationships come in all different shapes and sizes as we watch the sun go down. And it's a day-by-day effort to make sure, if you're in one, that it's going to work. Look at these seagulls. I'll get down low. He's got one leg, that one. Oh no, he's got two. It's a day-by-day effort to make it work. That's all there is to it. And you've got to personally develop yourself consistently. You've got to personally check yourself consistently. And that's how you stay on top of problems. There's the dog. When you fail to take note of yourself, let me give you an example. You can live in credit or you can live in debit. It's up to you. Credit is when you're looking after yourself as best as you possibly can, responsibly. Debit is when you're doing things to yourself that don't benefit you or anybody else. That's debit. And we have this attitude. It's like people have just missed the whole concept of how dangerous drugs and alcohol are. It's like there's a mass of people that have missed the concept of how bad drugs and alcohol are. It's like they've missed the whole concept of it. The whole damaging aspects of it. They've missed. And many of them are proud of it. They're proud of their grog. They're proud of what it's done to them. They're proud of how they are. They stink of smoke. Their teeth are falling out. Their hair starts to fall out. Their insides are rotten. And they're proud of it. For some strange reason, they're proud of it. And I'm buggered if I know why. I have no idea why. But this is a culture that's in the masses, that's harming people right across the world. And I, for one, don't like it because I've seen how bad it is and what it does. Now, you might be saying, well, that's all you rave on about. Yeah, because there's millions of people dying at the hands of it, ruining their relationships at the hands of it all. So they can sit there, pissed, stoned, off their trolley, being fucked in the arse by a stranger and the drugs and alcohol itself. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. And it's not good. It's not good for them. It's not good for the people that they're with. And it's definitely not good for the children if they got any. Beautiful sunset. How do you come out of debit and balance out? Well, balancing out is fair because it works on the principle of coming back out of the habits. As soon as you start backing out, slowing down, putting off, reducing. How you going? How you going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good on you. Good on you. That's balancing you out. Now you still may be in debit, but you're balancing out. You're balancing out where you're at within yourself. And they're the first steps of getting out of it. Out of the harm, out of the mindset, out of the trouble that it brings, out of the sickness, out of the mindlessness, out of the loss in relationships. It's just loss. That's what I mean by debit. It's just loss. It's all loss. Loss, 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 loss. But the balance fares out as soon as you start to back out. You balance out. As soon as you start to back out, you balance out. That's fair, isn't it? As soon as you start to balance up the books with yourself and say, nah, I've had enough of it. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm through. I'm done. I don't want to feel sick. I don't want to feel tired. I'm sick and tired of it. I've had enough. There's a better way for me. There's a better way for my health, for my mind, for my life. There's a better way. That's when things change. That's when things get better. That's balancing out. Then, as you find your way out further and further away from the habits, only to a medicinal point, you're in credit. That's where you're in credit. And when you come into credit, that's when you start to heal mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. That's when you start to heal. That's when it's doing you good. That's when your decisions are making sense. That's when things are adding up. That's when life is starting to be subject to you instead of you subject to it. That's when you're taking life and health for what the benefit of it is. And it's totally your call. It's totally up to you how you go about it. How you going, mate? Good, buddy. And it doesn't have to be because of tragedy. It doesn't have to be because of crisis. It doesn't have to be because things have gone wrong. It doesn't have to be because it's all too hard. You can experience these changes with serious personal consideration. Consideration for your health, mental, emotional, spiritual and physical. Consideration for your family by way of example, set an example. Consideration for your own personal respect and aptitude towards yourself, your self-worth, showing that by example, showing that by the way in which you treat yourself, consideration for your children, leading by example in the right direction, because you're going to lead by example whether it's good, bad or otherwise. Consideration for your work improves when you look after yourself and you're 100%. And consideration for your life as a whole, which is shown through the way in which you treat yourself. Many of you have lost relationships, good ones, by way of habits that didn't really have the same value to the person that you were with as what they did for you. The reason for that being you didn't have the same value factor as what they had for yourself. And some people can value you more than what you do. And that doesn't seem right to you, that doesn't seem strong to you, but it is. But you're not used to that. You're used to being in a toxic environment, putting up with other people's rubbish and garbage, arguing, fighting. All that. And that becomes something that you get used to. That's become something that becomes a part of you. And you lose the true concept of what peace is. Peace is be still and know that God is God. That's what true peace is. It's not being intoxicated. It's not being zonked out by weed. It's not being medicated. It's being able to stand there and say in your right mind, be still and know that God is God. That's peace. I've had women that have said they want peace and they just can't get their head around it because they've lived a life of toxicity. They've been fascinated by it. They've come in and tried to work out how can you live an exciting life and be so peaceful? How can you live such an active life and be so peaceful? How do you do that? You look after yourself for the benefit of everybody else. You look after yourself for the benefit of everybody else. Be still and know, the Bible says, that God is God. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. Gosford, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.